What's up, guys? Today we're talking about hill running, and this is something that you have to be able to do if you want to get that cardio on point. Long distance is great, but it does not give you that same boost in the heart and the burn in the legs. Now, before we go any further, I want to thank the sponsor of this episode, Buy Optimizers. We have magnesium supplements which have been helping me so much. We're going to get into more detail about this product after, but for now, if you guys want to pick up some magnesium, go to magnesiumbreakthrough.com/Gabriel. Use the promo code Gabriel10 to get yourself 10% off, and let's move on and talk more about hill sprints. So the first thing that you have to keep in mind when we're talking about hill running is there's so many different methods to it. There's not just one way to do it, because sometimes people go, okay, I have just like here, I have 2 kilometers to get to the top. But that's not the only type of running we do. Sometimes, or maybe people don't have access to a big mountain. Sometimes people only have 100 meters. So today I'm going to take you through my 3 favorite types of hill running, and these are the ones that I think are most beneficial. I want to break everything down so you guys have a complete understanding of what you should be doing when you have a fight coming, or what you can be doing if you just want to get in better shape and utilize hills as your friend to just get that cardio on point. So I want to give you guys just a little example of each type of run and show you exactly what it looks like. The first one that we're going to focus on right now is long distance. When we have a massive hill that we can go up, I want to talk to you guys about this hill here. I have 1.5 kilometers from the bottom to the top. Now that obviously means that I cannot sprint. There's no way I can go super fast on a distance that far, because the legs start burning after about 300-400 meters if you go very hard. So this is a drawn back type of run. It's going to help you with your endurance, but is not necessarily the best, in my opinion, for fights where, you know, you're going really hard and then you take a break, and then you go hard and then you take a break. This is going to be much more drawn out, better if you're doing a longer fight. For instance, you see guys like Manny Pacquiao who are doing a 36-minute fight do a lot of long distance hill sprints. So I'm going to get the camera up there and I'm going to show you guys my pace as I make my way up. If I was going to be continuing up this hill, I would maintain that pace, and basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to control my heart rate, not let it get too out of hand, because I don't get a break. This is just one shot, straight up, 1.5 kilometers. My legs start to burn. Eventually, when my legs really start to burn, my heart will start thumping, and then I have to learn how to control both. And doing things like cold therapy are great for helping to learn to regulate your system. Now, the long distance hill runs, as I already mentioned, they're not my favorite, because it's not very similar to the fight where the heart rate goes up and down and up and down. This is more about that endurance, but it's fun to mix it in occasionally. So if you guys have a hill, a big one around your home where you can go straight up and up and up for about 1.5 to 2 kilometers, add that into your routine. It is beneficial. Now, before we move on to our next point, where we're going to be looking at telephone pole sprints, I want to mention short distance sprints, because this is something I see a lot of people do. For instance, if we went right from here basically to there, and I just sprint up as fast as I can. A lot of people really like this type of training. I do not. I am not a fan of really short distance, because what I find with hill sprints is you're running up and then you're walking back down. I don't like running down hills. It hurts my hips, bad for the knees in my opinion. So whenever you're doing a hill sprint, you want it to be long enough that by the time you get to the top and you're really running hard, you almost can't go any further. And this distance here, this is just not enough. We're talking something like 50, 60 meters, 100 meters. I can run that full speed and get to the top, and could go further. So one of the things that I like to do is I like to go, okay, how destroyed are my legs? If I go 1.5 kilometers at a normal, nice controlled pace like we just talked about, by the time I get to the top, I go, ooh, my legs are smoked. But in terms of being somebody who goes, oh, you know, I'm going to head to a hill that's 50 meters long and I'm going to run up and down it 10 times, I'd say don't waste your time. There are much better things you can be doing. For instance, what we're going to talk about right now. The second type of hill running that I want to take you guys through today is telephone pole sprints. So what you need to do is you need to find any spot that has a hill where there's telephone poles staggered fairly far apart. Now you can see right now that the second one is up there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run up 2 of them, and then I'm gonna walk back 1. And you're gonna minimize your rest time, because a lot of times when we go up hills, we go very far distance, but then we have to come all the way back down. And our recovery time is too long, in my opinion. So on these ones, we go up 2, we come down 1, and then we go up 2 and we come down 1, and you can push the pace. I'll give you guys a quick example of what it looks like. So what we have done here is I've done a sprint up. It takes about 20 seconds. I'd say that's the general distance between 2 telephone poles. Now you guys can walk with me. I'm gonna work my way back down. I'm gonna go twice the distance on the sprint, half the distance on the break, and slowly I'll work my way all the way to the top of the hill. I would say ideally you wanna have at least 4 to 6 sprints upwards, and then the breakdown will be just the same. On these type of hill runs, you want to make sure you're going 100%. That's what we're doing on this. When we have really long distance runs up hills, we can tone back. But on these, it's full on hill sprints. And because we only have this little walk down, we don't get as much recovery time. So you guys can see I get back down to the telephone pole. I got to work my way up, and bit by bit, going up and down, I will finally get to the top. Generally what I'll do after that is I'll assess, was it enough running? As I said before, guys, overall, I feel like when you're doing hill runs, you need to cumulatively put in at least 1.5 kilometers of hill running. That's a minimum. There's no point in going and doing hill sprints and only doing something like 500 meters overall. It's not enough. So always aim for overall, cumulatively, that 1.5 kilometers of actual hill running. All right, guys, before we move on to my favorite type of sprint, well, not my favorite, but the one that I think helps you the most, we're gonna take a pause, and I want to thank, once again, Optimizers for sponsoring this episode. This magnesium is quality. That is what is so important to me when I give you guys products that I really endorse. It's all about the quality, and if you're putting something in your body, just like when you eat food, you want to make sure it is very, very high level stuff. Now, in particular, I want to talk about 2 forms of magnesium that are in this product, which are very important for athletes. First, we have this magnesium helps with recovery while increasing energy and your athletic performance. The second type of magnesium, which we're going to focus on today, is chalate. This one helps build muscle and increase recovery and overall health. Guys, I've been noticing a massive difference in my overall performance, my sleep, with this product. If you guys want to get this supplement into your routine, go to magnesiumbreakthrough.com/Gabriel. Use the promo code Gabriel10 to get yourself 10% off and get healthier and stronger and your sleep dialed in. Now we're moving on to the last and, in my opinion, most important form of hill sprints. I have been utilizing this method for over 15 years. And what we're talking about is finding a hill that is somewhere between 300 and 500 meters long, ideally quite steep. And you're gonna go from the bottom to the top in the fastest time possible. Now, realistically, this is not like doing a 300 or 400 meter sprint on flat ground where you're bombing and you're going crazy fast, but you need to push yourself so that when you get to the top, you're bent over and you're going, oh my gosh, I can hardly breathe. Then you get to walk down to the bottom, you take the full recovery time, and then you do it again. And in my opinion, we do this 5 times, which, as I said at the beginning of the episode, is about 1.5 kilometers. That is the ideal distance that I am looking when I do my hill sprints or my hill running. Overall, it always adds up to the same. It's just the fact of if I go slow and consistent, or fast and with breaks in between, or do I do my hill sprints with those telephone poles in between. I'm gonna give you guys one final example of the pace I keep when I do a 300 to 400 meter hill sprint. Just keep in mind, I'm gonna do a very short version of this right now, but overall you will understand the pace. So overall, guys, if I had to basically give you, in terms of running, which is the most important, I would go long distance, consistent pace is the last one for me. Next, I would go hill sprints. Super important, great for those legs. And then finally, I would go soccer field sprints or full power sprints on a flat surface is also very, very important. But what we talked about today here will serve you very well for getting the leg strength up and that conditioning on point. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you found it helpful. I hope everybody out there starts taking my advice and utilizing 1 or 2 or 3 of the routines I shared with you guys today. If you enjoyed the episode, please give it a like. If you haven't already, join the channel and get subscribed. As always, guys, train hard. I'll see you back here soon for another video.